All right, we are back once again here in the Roach Motel, and we have a very, very wonderful guest today. She is a DJ, a musician, a vibe. It's Carter Cruz, everybody. How are you?
Doing pretty fucking great.
Yeah? You had another podcast today?
Your opening music, I felt like we were about to dive into some true crime.
This is very true crimey.
It's very true crimey. You're going to be like, in 1970, a serial killer terrorized Seattle. And I was going to be like, all right, I don't know why I'm here, but I'm here.
The story about a young girl who went missing on a Friday night. Yeah, it does have that vibe, doesn't it?
On a Monday afternoon.
That's so
I'm
wild.
the girl.
Yeah. You're here. Now, you brought a whole security crew with you. I couldn't take those guys. You kidding me?
Dude, they're blacked out. They're going to leave in 20 seconds anyway. Not good security.
That's true. They do just drop you off and go, we're going to get lunch. Catch you later. No, but I'm so excited that you made time for us today because you are getting ready to embark on the festival of the summer, the Fully Loaded Festival with one Bert Kreischer. And this is your first time like on the bus and everything.
Yes. I mean, I've been on a bus tour before, but no one actually slept on the bus and there was not a lot of memories created. So this is my first like actual bus tour.
So now you are going to be staying on, that was a question I had. I didn't know if you were going to be staying on the bus through the whole thing. I didn't know who was going to be staying on the bus because I have some experience in this department with Bert Kreischer. I've done the bus thing.
Oh, you've done the bus?
Yes.
Ooh, I want to hear from you.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Do you have anything you want to ask? Now, granted, I haven't done it as much as others. I did like one stint, but it was so much fun. But yes, any questions, concerns, I'm happy to answer them.
Well, I will say the other day I found out, I thought there was just one bus, but there's not one bus. There's 4 buses on the tour.
Wow.
So there is a man bus.
Okay. A bus for the boys.
There's the woman's bus.
I see. Okay.
And there's a crew bus. And then there is a party bus where everyone can party on and then go to bed and not trash their buses, which is kind of the bougiest shit I've ever heard in my life.
That is, Bert Kreischer has stepped it up to another level now. Not only gendering the buses, which is a new thing, but also then, you know, the party bus idea. Great. This is going to be so much fun.
I was like, oh, you're splitting us up by gender? That seems very, like, not 2022.
So who's on your bus then? It's like you, Nikki, and Taylor?
Well, it's different people. Well, Bert's daughter, who just turned 18, is on the bus. She's the only one I know who's on there both weekends with me.
Wow. I have a feeling she's going to learn a lot.
Well, isn't that insane? I thought, you know, he's like, oh, you're on the bus with my daughter. And I was like, you know... That's insane. That like I could be the worst influence of all time. Well, I'm not, but I could be.
Sure, yeah, you never know.
And everyone's like, "Oh, that means he really trusts you." I'm like, "But why would he trust me? I just met him 24 hours ago."
That's so funny. How did you get on his radar? Because obviously you and I have been talking and like wanting to do this for a while, but I didn't know that Bert and Tom were like aware, you know. I mean, I'm sure they were aware of you, but you know
that's been the thing for like, So, I mean, big fan of Bert and Tom. Love their stand-up, their podcast, everything. And it's probably been like 4 or 5 years. I was like, I want to be on their podcast.
Okay.
So just kind of trying to like get on their radar. All I wanted to do was just show up on the podcast. No big deal.
Sure.
Then I'm driving back from EDC. I think about a year ago, they were talking about shit on the podcast, and Tom almost said my name. He's like, "Oh, this girl, Ka," and then Bert cut him off.
Did you crash your car?
Oh my God! I was like, all my friends were sending it to me, like, I swear he almost said your name, and I was like, "Fucking Bert, just cut him off." I was so pissed.
That's so funny, like Bert cutting off Tom because like Joe Rogan did the same thing, like talked about. He goes, "You know, Josh Potter, really funny guy." And he's starting to talk about me being funny to Bert, and Bert's like, I'm going to take the conversation another like, motherfucking Christ.
And I fully relate to that. I get it. But I was like, in the moment, I was like, no. So everyone was sending that clip to me, and I was like, they were like, they almost were aware.
Yeah.
And then driving back from EDC this year, I hadn't slept in like 24 hours. I mean, it was a rough weekend. Driving back to LA, and we put on Two Bears, One Cave, and Bert was saying like, oh, like brought me up and said he wanted a DJ. But he's like, I feel like she's too legit. I want a hack DJ. And I'm like, no. I DM him like, I can be your hack DJ.
Don't worry, I'm capable of the hackness. That's so funny. So
if
what does he want you to do?
If I can be a good DJ, I can be a hack DJ.
Sure, of course. Are you going to be doing things between sets? How's it going to work?
Oh, I have no idea. I've asked 20 times. No one's told me. It's fine.
Well, I was going to say, because I'm sure people watching are going to be going, so I wanted them to know how they could see you in particular. I don't even really know how it's going to be like a carnival.
I assume that I'm going to be playing while everyone's arriving and just kind of setting the vibe of like, instead of having music playing in the background, like I'll be playing the music. It'll be catered to the crowd. I'll be having fun on stage, and it'll just be kind of like creating that atmosphere that he wants of like a party atmosphere. But that's just fully off of what I assume based
that's
off
what
like
you got going in.
Yeah, that's all I know. I really don't know. I've asked a million times. I've been like, hey, can someone just give me like how long am I gonna playing? Like, do I have to get on the mic? I don't know.
Maybe. Who knows?
Like, I'm not a fucking stand-up.
Well, do you get on the mic at your normal shows?
I mean, only after copious amounts of drugs.
And then you're up there doing. I mean, there's sure to be some of those around. But yeah, no, I wanted to see like also like when you're like doing your own shows around and about the country, you set up a pretty sweet atmosphere. So I was wondering what you were bringing to the table as far as that goes. You know, like how are you going to bring the Carter Cruise element to the tour?
Well, I think that kind of one of my biggest selling points has always been that like I love to have fun. Mm-hmm. And I think when people see someone having a lot of fun, it inspires them, mm-hmm. right? You know, it's like, Braveheart or,
Braveheart, that's what I say about Braveheart. Looks like a real party.
Any classic, but it's about inspiration, right?
No, I get what you're saying.
The Blind Side.
Yeah.
You're just inspired.
These are such odd choices of comparisons, but I like it. You're talking about just a feeling of wanting to run through a wall for somebody, some inspiration.
Being excited, yeah. Yes. And when you see someone else being so inspired, you want to be on that level. And I think that's always been kind of my draw as a DJ. You know, regardless of what I'm playing, is that when people see me having such a good time, even if like no one else is having a good time, I'm having a good time.
Sure. I mean, as an onlooker, your parties look already insane.
Thank you.
You know what I mean? Like in a great way.
Why haven't you come to one?
I would love to. I'm going to. But what's the craziest shit that goes down at these types of things as a not cool guy who doesn't go?
I don't know what's crazy to you. I feel like that's very like...
You're right. The sky is the limit. But I mean, what's crazy to you? Anything crazy to you happen?
Nothing.
Nothing? Yeah. It's all run of the mill at this point?
I'm dead inside at this point. It's all been exhausted.
What's something that you consider a Monday, but others would think maybe crazy?
I don't know, like lots of tits, lots of, I don't know.
Yeah, that's just like run-of-the-mill stuff.
Yeah,
You're just like, tits your brain can't even go like, what's crazy for people? I don't even...
Yeah, I don't even know. Yeah, I've been in this way too long.
That's so funny.
It's been almost 10 years. Like, I actually have to like kind of remind myself like what's out of the ordinary for other people, because I don't want to ever make anyone feel uncomfortable. So I really always try to tone it down to whatever situation I'm in. But sometimes you don't know like what is normal. I don't know.
That's a great point. I mean, doing comedy, it's kind of the same thing. You have to like remind yourself like, this isn't what other people are doing on their everyday situation. You know what I mean? And mine's not even like fun, interesting stuff. It's just like, stupid shit where you go like, oh, other people don't have these problems. You're like, I need a tag for this joke. You're sitting around writing. But that's the thing. It's like real people don't relate to that kind of stuff. So you have to like center yourself and go like, okay, I have to write a joke about SpaghettiOs now. You know what? Whatever.
Well, I think that's why like comedians, porn stars, and DJs have this like crazy intersect where like very different jobs, but also doing things so outside the norm, and then being on the road.
Yes.
And being kind of alone. And I think there's this like weird, even though you're all doing different things, just comedians, DJs, and porn stars seem to just
And musicians can kind of get in there too a little bit.
Yeah.
Even though they're in a band sometimes, so then
they're like, not alone. It's different.
Barry's such a piece of shit, and you're like, I don't have those problems. I am too lonely on the road. You know what I mean? Like
I would love Barry to be a piece of shit.
Can I have a Barry? Yeah, I'd love someone to come along.
I'll take anyone.
Can I have a bass player? But yeah, it's true. Did you do the road as a porn star too? Like I know many do like feature dancing and things like that, and I always thought that was like romantic in my eyes. I don't know why. You know what I mean?
I didn't do feature dancing, but I mean, you do travel a lot.
Yeah.
Sorry, I forget that I gotta.
No, you're good. You've been sounding fine.
I'm trying. But yeah, you do travel a lot, and that's where I first kind of like got the hang of it, especially after like getting into that in college. That's when I first felt that loneliness because I'm from the South and no one really understood what I was doing. So to leave everyone I knew and to just start flying to Florida, even though it wasn't like traveling like crazy, but still when I was in Florida, I didn't really know anyone I was staying with. And to just kind of have that like, you don't have anyone that you've known for years that you can get up and go, hey, I'm going through this, you know, because everyone's like, what the fuck are you even doing? You know?
Right. That's such a good, I mean, like doing that, leaving Buffalo and coming here to do comedy, it was almost like the same, because they all go like, well, good luck. You know what I mean? Like they don't think it's going to happen. You know what I mean? When you leave, they're like, he'll end up coming back or he'll get some stupid job out there and like, you know, do what everyone else does, have a family or something. But it's like a loneliness in that you can't like call somebody up and be like, man, I can't get a spot tonight. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody relates to that kind of thing other than other comedians, I suppose.
Right.
So you probably made a community amongst other porn stars, I'd imagine, or whatever that you can relate with.
Right. But I think also
they weren't with you in the struggle though.
But over the time, I feel like, you know, people from home came to accept it. It was very crazy. I'm from the South. You know, I was in a sorority.
Sure.
Blew everyone's minds. But, you know, over time, everyone was like, okay, you're still the same person.
Did it blow anyone's mind in a way that is the opposite, where you're like, my dad's friend is like looking me up all over the place? You know what I'm saying? Like,
where they were like more excited than they should have been?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think I know any of those people. Like probably, I don't know, my dad was like kind of retiring by the time, thank God, because like I think that's the hardest thing for a dad, right?
Sure.
It's not like my dad like doesn't care.
Right. It's going to work.
If he went to work
yeah.
and like knowing, like that might make him feel weird.
Yeah,
but I don't
true.
think he ever really had to deal with that because he was like retiring at the time that I was like getting into it. But yeah, no, I don't think. But I will say people that were so embarrassed. Like there was a girl in my sorority, and we don't really.
A girl in your sorority was embarrassed?
Well, okay, so we don't really look alike. Like,
okay.
We don't really look alike, but enough alike that when this became a thing that everyone knew about, people are coming up to her at the bar and going, "Oh my God, are you Carter Cruz?" And she was very embarrassed because she's a very sweet girl. And, you know, when people told me this, and at first I was pissed. I was like, why is she fucking embarrassed? Like, she's fucking whack.
She should be psyched.
Well, just like, why is she so like closed-minded?
Sure.
Like, why are you so embarrassed about this? But then once I took a step back from it, I realized like, oh, in her world, that would be horrifying. And I actually started to feel bad that I had, you know, inadvertently, you know, put this stigma on her that I chose to embrace that stigma, but she didn't. She's like a normal girl.
Do you think her friends didn't believe her? They're like, she's like, no, I'm not. They're like, she's definitely.
Well, her friends knew. She was in my sorority.
Names.
It was like, she's way taller than me. She's beautiful, but we really do not look that much alike. It was just similar hair color.
How many times did this happen to her?
I don't know. This is just something I heard from other people.
Enough times that it got back to you.
And I came back one time and to my school to like visit some friends. And she pulled me aside at the bar and she's like, hey, can I talk to you? And by this point, I'd really like, you know, thought about how that would impact her. And I felt really guilty. So I figured that's what she wanted to talk to me about. So when she pulled me aside, I was like, hey, like, I just want to say, like, I'm really sorry. Like, I get that I chose this life and like you didn't. And it's like not cool that anyone would put that on you. You know, like that's not cool. I feel bad.
Sure.
And she goes, no. That's not what I want to talk to you about. She was like, I love anal sex.
Oh, wow. I thought she was going to actually ask your advice of how to get into the biz. She's like, so can I
No, she's a sweet girl. She's married now.
But she's into anal sex. She loves it.
And she said she'd never been able to talk to any of her friends about that. And when she told them that she liked that, they all were weirded out. And she was like, I had opened up this, I had made her feel okay about shit she liked. Even though this girl is married, she's a sweet girl. Like, she's like, you know. But yeah, she likes some freaky stuff. And I made her feel okay about that. And she actually thanked me. And it was the cutest thing because I thought this girl was going to tell me that I made her feel terrible.
Sure.
And that I had to apologize to her. And she actually felt great about it.
You were her inspiration, if you will.
Right. Well, it made her feel like, hey, I'm not the only one.
Sure. That's great. Yeah. That's what it's all about, if you ask me, you know. That's what they say, you know, in comedy. It's like, I just want to make people laugh or whatever. You're inspiring people to, you know, show their freaky side.
Right.
At the end of the day.
Just try it out, if nothing else.
Try it out. That's our motto around here. Well, I have music, dude, that maybe you can remix someday.
Oh my God, let's hear it.
It's, well, you know, because we do like the news and the sports around here sometimes, you know. So I have my own little music that I created. We'll do the sports one first. Ready? Beep 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 beep. Beep 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 beep. It's copyright free. Beep 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 beep. You know, I don't know if you get creative.
It's like a jingle for what?
For the sports. It's sports time. You know, that's how we introduce the sports, and it's the Monday Night Football song. But we can't use the Monday Night Football song on this program without YouTube cracking down on us.
Wait, that's actually what it is?
That's me singing it.
So you didn't even write it?
I didn't write it.
Okay. So I want to hear some original Josh Potter.
Well, I did do the Your Mom's House intro, all a cappella.
Did you really?
I did, yeah. I wonder if I have that in my phone. All right, ready? I found it. Here it comes. And action.
Okay. I don't even know what that means.
I don't know either.
All right.
I'm a little nervous.
Here it is. Here's Josh's
You're going to get
submission.
so angry, I know it.
This is big time! Who is Randy? Don't bring anyone's mother into this. Your mama in the fucking stands!
Welcome to your mom's house with Tom Segura. And
Christina Pashitsky.
welcome to your mom's house.
This intro is so long.
I kind of hate it on your Sports Center, like, you know, little intro, but it's actually the exact intro of that. Just a lot of fucking mouth noises. I love it.
Yeah, you know. So remix away if you want, if you ever want to. But there is something that happened in sports that I would like to get your take on, because you are a public figure. Do you have paparazzis?
I have deep thoughts about sports. Very deep thoughts.
I'm excited. Do you have paparazzis?
I don't think so.
They don't come follow you around and be like, Carter.
I think that's like a very like A-list thing. Like, I think you got to be like Miley Cyrus. Like, you got to have like 7 million followers on Instagram.
Also, do you think it's a
paparazzi.
thing too? Like, if you say you did have 7 million followers, do you think that there's like, you're like, what are you going to get me on? You know what I mean? Isn't paparazzi like a gotcha thing? Like, it's people who are like prim and proper in the public eye, and then they're trying to like be like, oh, you're wasted.
Right,
you know
right.
what I'm saying?
Or like you're being a hoe.
Right. Well, being a hoe is exactly where we're headed with this, you see. Because Connor McDavid is the greatest hockey player of all time, and he could walk into any Starbucks in America. He could walk down the street. He could walk down Main Street during Pride Parade. No one would know who Connor McDavid was, even though he's the greatest hockey player there is. A couple people, perhaps. But he went to Toronto, where his hockey is king. So everybody recognized him.
Right.
What an idiot. And he's here hammered, which is fine. And he's being... Let's see if we can watch the video and get an idea of what's happening here.
We're gonna shame him.
There
Yeah,
he
that
is
guy
walking.
definitely looks like a bodyguard type character.
That's Zach Cassian he's talking about. He's not a bodyguard of sorts.
You're fucking paparazzi. I know, dude. I know. That's so like, God damn, is he hammered? Hey, Connor.
So he's being led along by a lady there, wasted out of his mind. The thing is, though, the reason the internet is upset with him is that's not his girlfriend.
Dude, why people got to get involved? It's not their business.
I agree. I don't think that's...
You don't know what their relationship is like. Maybe they got open. Maybe she's fucking 20 dudes right now.
That's what I said. I'm like, maybe that's like his cousin too. He's just wasted, and she's like making sure he gets to the car. Okay, we don't see what happened. They're not making out. I'm trying to come to Connor McDavid's aid here. Twitter is lighting him on fire for this.
Dude, that's fucked up. Yeah, no, I don't fuck with that. I don't think you should ever like involve yourself in other people's relationship stuff.
Yeah, it's
it's different
right?
if the wife comes out, has a baby, and goes, this was fucked up. Then you're like, okay, that's fucked up. But just let people do their thing. It's not
I don't even think there's anything nefarious happening here. I think they're just like, he's wasted, and she's like, don't wander into traffic.
I mean, that's not the way you hold your cousin's hand.
You don't know my cousins.
Are you from West Virginia?
But I mean, what if he is a very highly prized athlete, best hockey player in the world, as I've said many times. You don't want him twisting an ankle,
How long has he been with his girlfriend?
A long time. I think her name is Lauren Kyle.
Yeah, and they're not married.
Can you pull up Connor McDavid's girlfriend? Yeah, that's another. I mean, you're kind of, I don't know, maybe now Connor might have to get a little shade. Let's see what his real girlfriend, I mean, they're publicly out and about all the time. Go to the images, you see. Google images.
Google images.
There we are. There's the happy couple, ex-couple. But yes, they've been dating since I think 2015 is what
she hasn't come out and said anything about this.
Not yet.
See, that's the problem I have is that everyone assumes that she should have a problem with it. And then guys get upset when their girlfriends do have a problem with this stuff. But we all assume that women should be jealous and that we shouldn't be okay with him walking down the street holding hands with another girl. Maybe she's gone, hey, baby, like on the road, you do you, but I know you're mine. It's all good.
And now it sheds light on that, which is annoying.
Right. And now everyone's in their business. And now the only way she can say that he's not a piece of shit is by coming out and talking about her relationship with him. And, and she's not a famous hockey player.
Yeah, that's
she's
a great
trying
point.
to chill. Like, that's why I think I always assume that's a private matter between them.
Yeah, like you said, maybe she's chill with it. You do you on the road, and then now she's faced with they're like, oh, I'm so sorry, and she's like, no, actually, it's kind of cool when he leaves. I fuck this dude over here or whatever,
Right, but now if she has to come out and say that, then that reflects on her because now you have a whole demographic in the United States who judges her and says how could you possibly be okay with this?
Yeah.
So she shouldn't have to say that.
Yeah, that is wild.
I say fuck the guys who recorded this and posted it.
Yeah, they're actually the real menace. They're excited to see Connor McDavid, but then all of a sudden, it's outing him. They didn't even know that probably that wasn't his girlfriend, to be honest.
Right.
They just posted holy shit, Connor McDavid's hammered. The tweet says McHammered. They're not even talking about the girl. But Twitter took it and ran with it, obviously. So
boring Johnny Hockey is not a piece of shit.
Right.
He's just excited.
No, I like how you call him boring Johnny Hockey. Have you ever dated a hockey player?
No.
Because I mean, with the Bumbles and the Hinges, I know a couple girls in LA, they match with a Kings player or whatever. So I was curious if you've ever, any athletes at all in your dating history?
No, a lot of I've dated some bodybuilders, some fitness guys.
Yeah, okay.
But never an athlete. But I will say that I'm a very we're either dating or we're just fucking.
Right.
It's just one or the other. So I've only had over my life probably 5 boyfriends, and the rest have just been very, very casual.
Yeah. Well, then I guess including them, I was just wondering about a professional. Some of them suck at sex, I hear. So that's what I was curious about.
Oh, okay. Who'd you hear that from?
A couple Eskimo bros that I've got in my locker. You
said your dick was better?
They said a couple of things. I'm not going to throw shade on anyone in particular. I think because also they were like offensive linemen and stuff like that. So they were like, huge fat guys. So that helped me a little bit, I guess, in that regard. But
you think huge fat guys can't have good dicks?
I'm not saying that. I'm saying these particular ones, these two in particular, they were trash, I suppose. But such is. I'm not saying all fat guys. Hey, fat kings out there, get yours. All right, no doubt. Did not expect to bring that up on the program.
I feel like you felt really comfortable with it. That's like kind of.
Well, I didn't want to out anybody in particular.
Yeah, we never want to out anyone. But
no.
What was particularly bad about? Was it?
I don't want to find out if they were lying to me. Yeah,
no,
that's it. Yes.
I'm curious about what did they not like about it? Was it
dimensions?
That they were lazy? Was it that their dicks were small? They didn't know how to use them? Like, there's a million things. Like, why did they like
I didn't get the whole dossier because I didn't want to poke holes in their compliments, if you will.
Right.
But yes, it was like the ergonomics of it all, I guess you could say. Does that make sense? The dimensions and such.
Well, that's when
you figure it out, I'm sure.
Like an offensive lineman, you got to get on top at that point.
Well, that was also an issue. Boredom of that, the monotony of the same position.
I don't get that.
I know. Me neither.
People are always like, as a porn star, what's your favorite position? I'm supposed to come up with with my legs on the ceiling.
Yeah, no, that's the thing.
And I'm missionary.
Exactly. There's
if not missionary, then missionary, but me on top.
There's 3 hits. You know what I mean? Let's just play the hit. We don't need to go B-sides here. I'm not trying to be in Cirque du Soleil or anything like that,
Yeah, right. I mean, don't get me wrong, that could be fun, but what's really an average on a Tuesday night that's gonna get you off, that's not gonna exhaust the fuck out of you.
Well, I
honestly,
will say,
the basic ones.
This one woman said missionary with one particular guy was very awkward because it was just a lot of weight on top of her.
Right.
So that was she was just I'd
but then you
feared
flip
for
it.
my life. Yeah, no, that's exactly. And then she got bored of that. You see? She was bored of that. She was like, I'm just sick of riding.
You got to do the side missionary. Well, I guess
that's another one,
side
true,
doggy,
yeah.
side doggy. That's honestly, I think that might be one of the most underrated positions.
It's low key awesome, but it's also again, I think ergonomically, you have to match up hip wise.
Well, if you don't match up in side doggy, you probably shouldn't fuck anymore. It's not
that's a
gonna
good
last.
point. Well, yeah, I'm just saying. I've also, I found out. Let's just say I found out that the Plan B pill doesn't work on women above 155 pounds.
You have a kid?
No. I found that out from a woman who's above 155 pounds, well above. And we tried that position. It didn't line up too good.
Wait, and she said, "Oh, Plan B didn't work."
I was basically
for her?
getting that she was.
I was like, wait, what?
She was a great big fat girl, and that position didn't work.
Wait,
out,
when you said Plan B didn't work for her, I was thinking about the abortion pill. And I'm like, what do you mean? So you have a kid?
I did, yeah, no, and I. That would be how I would find that out, but no,
you meant Plan B of the missionary position.
No. I was talking about the pill. The abortion pill doesn't work out. I was trying to just, tiptoe around the fact that she was larger and not be crass about it. And so I said, well, let's just say the Plan B pill wasn't going to work for her. She's above, a certain weight.
Oh, you tiptoed around that, but I was just curious about so you have a kid?
No. We just didn't do it.
He's cut that out.
No.
Cut the whole thing out.
I 100% do not.
Highlight the
thank
low
God
lights.
for all kids, by the way, that I don't have any of them. That's be bad
So
for
you
the
don't
world.
want kids?
Not at the moment. I'm having too much fun on my own, and I'm just learning how to take care of myself. And I just started being able to make some money, so I don't want to throw all that into a kid.
That's $100,000, man.
Yeah, for a long time.
It's like a down payment on a house.
Yeah, and I don't have one of those, so I'm not having a kid anytime soon. What about you? You want to have them?
Oh, fuck no.
Yeah, okay.
The only reason to have a kid is so that when you're 80 and all your functions are failing, that the kid will take care of you.
Yeah.
But you have no guarantee that will happen.
Right,
That's what's so terrifying.
Dick.
Yeah.
I think about that often because I do live alone and everything like that. I'm like, man, if I ever fall, I'm like, who's going to find me? How many days will pass before someone figures out that I'm gone? You know what I mean? So that's sometimes I go, maybe I should dump a load in a lady and have a child, and then they can find me.
Do you fall like a lot?
I could, you never know.
Like
I am blind.
Your hip is going to be broken.
I mean, someday it will be. I mean, do you ever think about just getting old? It's going to happen to all of us.
Oh, yeah, no, definitely. But honestly, if I died from a broken hip falling in my house, that would be a huge accomplishment.
I would rather I don't know how I'd want to, I don't want to die anything like slow and painful.
Right.
But would a hip breaking thing be
I kind of want to die slow and painful.
Really? Wouldn't that be slow and painful though if you broke your hip and you're just waiting there for days for like your child to come check on you?
But your child isn't coming.
It's not
the fact that you fell with
your phone's all the way over there and you're just like, the sun is up, it's down, it's up, it's down. You haven't drank any water or eaten anything. You're gonna die.
Oh my God, that is so dark.
Today's Josh Potter Show is brought to us by one of the finest inventions in a very long time. Of course, we've had fire, we've had the wheel. Now we have freeze pipe. That's right, friends. I've taken a many bong rip in my day. Oftentimes it burns the back of my throat. I'm coughing. I can't talk afterwards. Freeze pipe takes care of that, my friend. It makes it nice and smooth and cool, going down the back of your throat into your lungs. And it doesn't, you don't have that dragging feeling, at the end of it. And they've got quite the line over at Freeze Pipe. You see, the solution to the smoothest cannabis smoking experience is Freeze Pipe indeed. They've got their glycerin chambers, so it gets all I'm not going to pretend I know the science behind it, but these are pipes that you can put in your freezer for 1 hour, take them out, and you're getting the smoothest rips of your life. I'm telling you, I know that much. And I've had a rip or two in my day, let me tell you. And they've got all sorts of different kinds, by the way. Kirsten has the giant one. It's like 2 feet big and breaks down nicely so it can fit in your freezer. I've got the nice bubbler going. It is quite something, my friend. Go check out their line for yourself. Bigger and colder hits are just one click away. Enjoy the smoothest hitting bongs and more at thefreezepipe.com. So go use code Josh, save 10% off your entire order. That's thefreezepipe.com. Use code Josh, save 10%.
Oh my God. I think at that point, that's why you always got to keep a little stash of some really hardcore
Cyanide.
drugs that you wouldn't do normally on you once you start getting old. Because when you do fall and you go, well, no one's coming to get me, I guess this is when I try heroin for the first time.
You're like a horse. You got to put yourself down, like if you break your leg or something. Right. No, that would be actually how I choose to die, is heroin.
Same.
Like I'm going to just save it until I want out.
Same.
Basically.
The minute I feel like I'm about to die,
yes.
I'm going to be like, this is when I get to try it.
Exactly. I want to be able to like I go, well, can't wipe my own ass today, turns out. Heroin time.
I think I don't think I could shoot it up.
Me neither.
At 80 years old,
I'd need somebody to do it.
You got to call up your friend and go, hey, listen, I think I'm on my last leg. Can you put a needle in my vein?
Well, also, retirement being what it is, I'm not going to have any kids, like I said, so I don't have to waste I can, spend all my money. I'll have a doctor come in and administer it.
You're going to have money in retirement?
I hope so. Enough to have a doctor come inject me with some heroin, I hope.
You're going to get Social Security, you think?
I don't know. I hope so. I got my fingers crossed. I don't know. I hope I get... the other thing is I have one working eye. So the second that one goes away, heroin time. We are not spending any time.
You have one working eye?
Yes.
The other... But is it like doctor working or like actually working? Because, people can be like blind, but they can see.
Like this eye is like functioning at decent enough level where I can see and like be independent, if that makes sense. But right. The other one is just black.
So it's fully gone.
Right. So like if this one goes,
why is that?
I got I was born early. I have macular degeneration. I was in like an incubator for months.
You're a preemie.
And they were pumping gas into my body, or into the incubator, oxygen, not gas, whatever, oxygen. They say that could fuck with your eyes. Not gas.
That would make sense.
Yeah,
You're pumping gas into the incubator.
MK Ultra. I was part of an MK Ultra experiment.
How much did you weigh when you were born?
2 pounds.
Oh,
I could fit in my dad's palm.
yo,
Like a
my
little
dad was a
alien.
preemie and he got put in an incubator, but he was like 4 pounds.
Oh, wow.
I was almost 10 pounds.
That's wild.
I was a big baby.
Could you imagine passing that through you?
Oh no, that's again another reason why I won't have children, because I've got an IUD, which I'm sure you are aware of it. You know, the birth control, but they put it up inside your uterus.
It's a roadside bomb in Iraq, right?
It's a
no.
It's a
it's a
EID.
Yeah, it's IED. Yeah.
IED. Oh, got the right letters. So an IUD is like birth control that they like. It lasts for 5 years, and they like put it up inside your uterus, and this thing is like about this big, tiny, tiny, tiny. And when they put it in you, it is the worst thing that you've ever felt in your entire life. It is. So they basically, to make sure it's the right size, they make your uterus contract like you're having a baby.
Oh, wow.
And then they go, okay, I guess it works.
Oh, my Lord.
It's the worst thing that's ever happened to me. But so if I knew that this tiny piece that's like, I can't even show anything. It's smaller than this cord.
It looks like a little like antenna.
It's smaller than this little cord right there.
Mm-hmm.
If that hurt going through there, I was imagining like my head as a baby.
Oh my
going
God.
through. I was like, yeah, no.
Not a chance. I did my mom a favor. I mean, she was still in fucking bikinis when she had me, and I was so early.
She was like, I didn't even know it came out.
Yeah, they're like, push, and she was like, huh, there it is. All done, lickety split. She's like, really? I'll have 10 of these. I don't care. No, I did my mom a tremendous favor. You're welcome, Mom. Coming out super early. Do you want to hear my news song?
Yes, I do.
Because we have some fun news stories we can talk about before we wrap things up. Maybe again, if you feel inspired to remix this, please do. It's time for the news.
They're honestly fantastic.
Don't you? I think so too.
Really,
they're award-winning. They are. Now, this is interesting. I thought of you when I picked this story up.
Oh, God.
A Roach reporter sent this in, Matthew Von Drack. And if you want to send things in, by the way, joshpottershow@gmail.com. Please to be sending things in. It says, this milkshake tastes like pee. Would you be able to know pee if you tasted it?
Yes.
You would, because you've known like directly, like this is pee.
I've honestly only tasted pee like twice in my life, but like I know what it smells like, and taste is so informed by smell. You would
know 100%.
But I mean, depending on how hydrated you are. So
well, interesting.
Maybe.
Well, let's see this. This says an Arby's night manager in Washington State has been charged with possession of child pornography. That's a little thrown in there into the mix there. He admitted twice to police that he had urinated in a fast food chain's milkshake mix, at least twice. The investigation began when police caught wind of a computer downloading child pornography. So interesting. A child pornography ring exposes a milkshake urinator. That's usually it's the other way around.
Yeah, wow. Why would they even come forward with that?
That's what I'm trying to find out. Court records say the device showed the date on which a video was taken, and another Arby's manager told police that the restaurant had sold at least at least one ice cream float. So I don't know how they're connecting these dots. They don't really say.
Imagine.
It's
you're
basically
like in a child pornography ring and you go to an Arby's and you're like, this has pee in it and I'm going to the authorities. Like,
that's what it seems like. Well, it seems more like this man who's 29 years old. His name's Steven. He was a manager at the Arby's. He confessed to downloading and distributing the pornography. So then he must have been like, and I also peed in milkshakes.
Oh my God.
And like, it was like he was just confessing everything. So then he just admitted that part too. And he's like, I've done it twice, at least that I can remember. I mean, how many milkshakes could they have distributed out of the mix? That's not that much pee then, if you think about it.
Well, he only peed in one mix.
Well, he peed in like the tank, I guess, for lack of a better word. Like where they're like, well, he's getting his jollies from.
He got off to it.
I guess so. You know what I mean? Like, why would anyone do that? Other than it's like, ha ha ha.
But I feel like we're conflating like two different paraphilias into one, right?
Oh, sure. He is a pedophile, but I'm not.
I'm
not
talking
putting
about
that into
paraphilia is just because he's a pedophile doesn't mean he gets off to the pee thing. Like,
no,
that
true.
Just be...
That's a great point. And I wasn't equating the two things. If you like pee, that doesn't make you a pedophile, folks.
And just because you have one fucked up paraphilia doesn't mean you have another fucked up paraphilia. Of course.
But why would somebody pee into people's, or just to the secret knowledge of knowing that, oh, people are ingesting my piss?
Well, I think it's a power thing.
Right, which I wasn't necessarily literally saying he gets off to it, but he, he gets like mentally off to the fact that.
Or you're just like, I don't know. Yeah, I think it's got to be a power thing, right? Like you're just knowing that like everyone's drinking your pee.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Like he's like, oh yeah, he gets to go home at night, and he's like, what the people are out there drinking my piss right now.
This is so weird. Like I'm cool. Like I don't give a fuck about pee, whatever.
Sure.
He's like mainly sterile.
Sure.
I don't want to say 100% because anything can happen. But for the most part, like your body is just passing out some liquid. It's not like it might smell gross, it might taste gross, but it's probably not going to hurt you.
I'm not going to say this guy, by the way, too hydrated.
Yeah,
Arby's
probably
manager.
Not.
Yeah.
But just ew.
Yeah, of course. I don't know that I would have identified it though. Like, say he's pissing into the mix, and
wait,
maybe
so someone tasted it.
I mean, I don't know that anybody tasted it. That's the thing, because it sounds like he just confessed to the police.
Oh,
the Arby's manager told police that the restaurant had sold at least one ice cream float and about 30 to 40 milkshakes the day he peed into it.
Oh, dude, he probably peed into like a massive thing.
But here's where people are going to start coming out of the. That's what he did. He peed into the big batch, and then so I don't think I would have tasted it. I would have been like,
you wouldn't have.
It's a little sour. Maybe the milk's gone a little wrong. But police are asking anyone who purchased a milkshake from the store recently and has a receipt to please come forward. He reportedly told the police he is almost sure he threw the container away after urinating into it. Almost sure. So, they could have been using the container over and over again. But yeah, so if you're out there, if you're in Washington State and you drank a milkshake from an Arby's, I'd look into this. Because you probably have a little bit of money coming to you.
Washington State. Apparently, that's where like a lot of serial killers hide all their bodies too.
There's a lot of trees up there. There's a lot of woods.
There's a lot of woods in North Carolina too, though.
But do you think there's more people like hunting or something in the woods in North Carolina, or fishing or something? In Washington State, I feel like that people are like, don't go in the woods. There's Bigfoot in there or something. It's like haunted. Right.
Well, I don't think that it's that all serial killers are from Washington State. I think that there's just been a lot of killers that's been like a dumping ground.
Yeah, that's where they head after the fact. Yeah, that's their like the Nazis went to Argentina.
Right.
That's where they go to hide.
Right. We're like, it's okay. Like we're just. I don't know. Do they have redwoods up in?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, they do. They got big old trees up there, big old ones that you can bury bodies underneath. Speaking of killing people, we were talking about motherhood and how you don't want to have a child or anything. Say you did have a child and it became possessed by the devil. This mom thought her child was possessed, and she did an exorcism on the child, 3-year-old daughter, and suffocated her while doing the exorcism.
Oh my God, that's dark. Jesus.
The child, she accused the child. She was trying to rid the child of evil spirits. And shortly before her arrest, she was sad the girl had died, but was thankful that she wouldn't have to live in a world where everything is just so bad. So she must have cleaned something up for us, evidently, this woman thinks. I don't know. I think it's still kind of going pretty bad out there.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's like a good point of why religion sucks ass.
Yeah, that and all the raping of the children that the Catholic Church did. That always, I find that fascinating, that people are so like today, Hillary Clinton's eating pizza with child, while children fuck in the basement of a pizza place. But like, then they just go to the Catholic Church still.
Well, and did you see the stuff about the Southern Baptist recently?
No, do tell.
Oh my God. This is like the Catholic Church shit came out. Everyone knew that, even though they've been going on for so long, it came out. And so recently, I think it was like 2 weeks ago, basically Southern Baptists, which are the evangelicals, but they basically got exposed for the same exact
They're
shit.
doing the whole like, come forward, like they're saying the tongues and shit, healing people. That's Southern Baptist.
They do some of them do that. They're just the evangelicals. They're the ones that, you know, are I don't know.
I'm not shocked they're pedophiles is my point.
Right. No, I mean, I'm not either. But, you know, that's the craziest thing. Because it was like, okay, we got the Catholics. We caught them red-handed.
Sure.
And everyone said, no, we'll move on. And then it was like, now we got the evangelicals. And I'm like, all right, at this point, the only people we should be supporting are the Jews.
Until they start. I mean, I don't know. I mean,
no,
some of them,
would never.
Jerry Seinfeld dated a young one.
She was like 17.
Yeah.
That's a little different.
He's fine. He laughs about it to this day. In this thing, the officers on the scene, they learned that suspects believed the child was possessed by a demon, and they were at the church praying for her. The affidavit continues that she provided a statement to a patrol officer stating the victim was possessed by an evil spirit. She attempted to stick her finger down the victim's throat and squeeze the victim's neck to induce vomiting so that she could. I think she just saw too many movies. This lady's trying to get her to do that.
This literally sounds like a fucking movie.
Yeah, she's trying to like she's like, I saw in the flick, she pukes, the devil pukes, so we got to get her to puke. And she's choking her and shit. It's terrible. But, you know, I guess less evil spirits out there in the world today.
Wait, what's the movie? What's the
Exorcism?
series?
Oh, no. It's all
no,
right,
not
Kristen.
the Exorcism, but the...
We'll just use that dark story to wipe up the... No, it's fine. It's only a little bit.
We have the story of the woman murdering her child.
Yeah, we use the story of the woman who's murdered her child to wipe up the Red Bull there.
Wait, what was the Conjuring.
The Conjuring,
right? It
yes.
sounds like that.
There's been a lot of exorcism movies. I wasn't sure which one you were.
Yeah, I felt like The Conjuring was like the most recent one that there was like a sequel that came out.
There has been multiple Conjurings, 3 or 4 of them.
But I just saw the most recent one.
And do they murder a child in that as well?
I don't know. I was extremely high when I watched it.
Murder.
Girls love murder stuff. It was true crimey. We should have played the music from before.
No, I fall asleep. I fall asleep to true crime.
You do? Like, so it's like this? It's like...
No, it's my lullaby.
This is such a true crime thing.
It is.
It was a dark night. I don't even know. So, like, you listen to it and, like, does it put you to sleep or do you, like, get excited?
It puts me to sleep. That's why I listen to it.
That's weird.
So if I listen to comedy, like, you know, if I put on Seinfeld, for instance, that I get way too excited. I'm laughing.
Interesting.
I can't sleep. But I've been a true crime junkie since I was a kid, like young. When I was in my sorority in college, I went to school for psychology, and I wanted to do criminal psychology, and I've been obsessed with this since I was very young. And I had all these books on serial killers in my sorority house, and we had to do like tour day, and all the girls had to come up to me and be like, you think you could maybe like put the Ted Bundy books like away when we try to rush these girls into our sorority? So to me, it's just something I've always been super interested in.
What is the intrigue?
I mean, I'm just so fascinated by people's behavior, no matter what it is. But I think that, you know, being a serial killer or any kind of crime is the most outlier of human behavior. Yeah. So I'm interested by anything anyone does, whether you do, you know, just anything you do. I'm curious to hear your thought process behind it. What made you want to do that? But when you talk about crime, that is so far outside the norm that it's just extremely interesting to me. And that's really... I just want to understand people better.
I've met like CEOs before, and I always think in my head, I'm like, I wish I could meet a serial killer and compare these two people.
Well, have you ever read The Sociopath Next Door?
No.
Well, I read it when I was like 10. But it's basically about like, you know, most sociopaths are not actually like when we talk about sociopaths, we think about killers, Ted Bundy, people who wanted to murder people, but that's not like to want to murder someone, to get enjoyment out of murdering someone. That is a very specific type of psychosis that doesn't necessarily apply just because you're a sociopath or a psychopath. But so most sociopaths are CEOs.
Interesting.
So the whole thing of
those
books. Yes.
I knew it.
They really are. And so like the whole book is about like the people you'd meet in your day-to-day life. And a lot of times you won't even know, because if they need something from you, you'll never know they're a sociopath because they won't let you know that. It's
does this put you on guard on your whole life every time you meet somebody?
No, I mean, it's really like about, like these are estimates, but they think about like 1% of the population. And that is a crazy estimate. That is just a guess. So it's a small amount of people. It's not like everyone you'd meet.
No,
Think
sure,
about like
course.
1 in 100 people you'd meet might have the ability to be a sociopath.
Interesting.
But most of them don't get off like on murdering, on killing. They just want what they want.
What about
It's a
peeing into
totally different
milkshakes?
thing. Peeing into milkshakes. I feel like that'd be a little more like a psychopath vibe more than a sociopath vibe.
That's interesting. Discerning the two, because I have a hard time with that. Sociopath versus psychopath.
I'm not an expert on it.
I don't know the fucking difference. I'll tell you what. Did you hear? There was a story of a woman who got an STD in a car and she sued Geico and made $5 million. Isn't that fucking nuts? We could have been suing Geico this whole time.
She got an STD in a car?
Yeah, she fucked a guy in a car, and she filed an insurance claim because she got HPV. Of all things, it's like, who hasn't, lady?
What?
HPV. I go, are you fucking kidding me? It's not even like a real one.
Well, it won't be real for you because you can't actually get tested for
I know, but that's that's my point. I mean, the guy didn't know he had it. So like, she sued Geico for, I don't know, loss and liability or something like that. And they were like, get the fuck out of here. They threw her claim out. And then she took them to court and made $5.2 million.
Just because it was in a car that they were insuring?
Bodily harm in a car.
But they don't even own the car. They're just insuring it, right?
Yeah. They're the insurance company of the car. So like, this guy's his premiums are going to go up. Let's just say that, if he still has Geico. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but how would you even prove that he was the one who gave you HPV? Because you didn't test him for it.
Because that's the thing about HPV. I don't know. That's the thing. So she got this claim, or she got this lawsuit like in her favor, and she's just guessing it. That's why I cannot believe it happened.
Well, okay.
Because I was gonna say, like, HPV, you don't know where you got that from.
They didn't settle. Because settling, sometimes people just do it just to get it out of the way.
No, she won. She made a claim for $1 million and she won $5.2 million.
Like the jury awarded her.
Exactly.
Yo. But like, you don't even know that he gave it to you. That could have been one of them. If I was the defense attorney, I would have been like, and I hate to do this because it's fucked up, but like, she's a hoe.
Yeah,
she fucked all these other guys. She fucked another guy last weekend. How do we know it was this guy in the Geico car?
Right. And it's like, that's the shitty part. I bet the lawyer, the defense attorney, didn't want to. He's like, God, I'm going to get dragged through the mud for, trying to use her reputation against her. I'm just going to take the L.
You think a corporation cares?
Yeah, that's why they're just like, well, that. I also think they go, I think they do very much care about the image of that. So like, just pay her $5 million. You know what I mean? Or the attorney went in there and was like, I got nothing because I'm not going to call her a whore. So, whatever you decide to do. Because how easy was this slam dunk? I mean, it's crazy to me that she won.
I feel like there's more to the story than we need to do a deep dive into Google. There must have been something.
I've read about it pretty closely because it's also like, I didn't know we could just sue Geico for, shit.
How did she know that he was insured by Geico?
She just made an insurance claim with whoever. She probably asked him. She went to him and was like, what's your insurance? Like it was a car accident. Got all the information. Who is this guy, by the way, who's like, sure, whatever you need. You want to know?
I would have been like, you obviously have had that for 10 fucking years.
Yeah. No, that's the thing. It's like, how do you, as a guy, when a girl's like, I got HPV from you and I'm going to need your insurance information, I'd ask a couple of questions.
Well, also, like, baby, there's a vaccine for HPV now.
That's true, too.
Sorry you're anti-vax. That's not my fucking problem.
Right. That's what I said. We should be shaming this woman for being anti-vax. At the end of the day, if she got HPV, we know her stance on a few things, right?
Right, exactly.
We're going to reward that with $5.2 million now?
HPV is not dangerous. There's a handful of ones that are dangerous or could cause you problems. And we have vaccines for all of that.
Yeah, and well, with $5.2 million, she's going, if she has any problems, she'll be sure to be able to solve them, I'm sure.
To get some fucking Gardasil, the doctor will inject that into you for free.
Is that what it's called? I don't even know what it's. I don't know.
Yeah, you wouldn't know because as a man, you're just passing it to everyone.
Just giving it out.
Yeah, I mean, and for
there's
the most
no way
part,
to
it's
know,
fine.
right?
No, there's no way for men to know.
Yeah.
That's why you can't really blame them. But that's why it's funny sometimes when guys are like, "Oh, this girl gave me HPV," and it's like,
How? And then the guy, when they say they have HPV, it's like, no, you have something else. Or can a guy have visible HPV?
Well, genital warts are
That's,
HPV.
okay.
It's one version of HPV, and that's one of the ones that the vaccine prevents against. But usually, what it causes is cervical cancer. So those are the bad ones.
Sure.
Cervical cancer, warts. That's what they have the vaccine for. But there's like 70 million versions of HPV, and most of them don't do anything to you. And
It was one
everyone
of those
has
things
them.
I learned from Loveline that it's like, you probably have it.
From Loveline.
Yeah.
Was that the Dr. Laura?
Dr. Drew, who actually,
Okay.
it's so weird. I used to listen to it all the time because I'd have to board op it in Buffalo. I'd run the board, turn it on and shit because it was a syndicated show. And now I'm friends with Dr. Drew. It's crazy. He's
No
been on the
way.
show. Yeah, it's awesome. It's
Do you
the
ask
weird-
him all your HPV questions?
Oh, I call him about every question. People at home are like, because I had a surgery recently and stuff like, why don't you call Dr. Drew? Believe me, I call him enough, okay? He's answered all my stupid questions and he's got all the answers. And I'm actually going to be on his show coming up here in the next couple of weeks, which is exciting. But yeah, no, I mean, I'll if I see something weird on my dick, he's the first guy. I'll take a picture of it and send it to him right away.
What kind of weird things do you see on your dick?
Nothing, thank the Lord. I've been lucky enough to have a clear as a whistle.
Well, you
dick thus
have
far.
called him.
But I've called him about other health, just I have a cough, is this COVID? Stuff like that. I don't know. Other health concerns, not sexually
Dr. Drew
related.
is going to come through with a COVID diagnosis.
He knows regular medicine. He's a practicing doctor, but he happens to have a penchant for understanding sexually transmitted diseases. That's for sure.
Right.
It's very interesting.
I feel like a lot of times guys don't know anything about whether it's HPV, gonorrhea, whatever. A lot of times guys don't really have as many symptoms as women do.
Sure. No, yeah, you should, that's why it's just important to get checked out there as often as you can.
Hey,
if
safe
you're
sex.
fucking around. But it's so funny, you're not the first porn star I've talked to where it's you can give a medical dissertation on STDs, I feel because you guys are testing so much and you know what to look for and all that, I'd imagine, right?
Well, actually something I learned in the porn industry, towards the end was that, so we're getting tested all the time. So I feel very good about it. And for the most part, it is very safe. But what I found out towards the end of my career was that, since they only do pee testing for gonorrhea and chlamydia, that only test as a woman, that only test your vagina.
Okay.
And in theory, you could have gonorrhea or chlamydia in your eye or your asshole or your mouth.
Right. That's true too.
So they would give you a clean bill of health.
Okay.
What they only, and I was when I found this out, I was you tested 1 out of 3 holes? That does not seem like a
not
good
good odds.
ratio. Yeah, that is not good odds.
But at the same time, it's kind of like a catch-all because you're well, it's if there's going to be a hole used, it's definitely going to be in
You'd
that.
think, but I mean, people
also.
do, only oral scenes or
That's
whatever.
true, yeah.
And so you can request it. No one ever told me about this, and I found out that this was a thing. And so you could request it. And so if I was going to do a scene with another girl and a guy, then I'd want them all to be everything to be
Sure.
tested because he might put it in her mouth and then that could go,
No, of course, yeah.
So then I started requiring that. But that was
Okay.
not a thing that they actually require in the industry. And for the most part, you're only talking about
That's
gonorrhea and
wild.
chlamydia,
Sure.
which annoying to get, but
Yeah.
everyone's good on we're
Right.
tested on all the other stuff. But it's just crazy to think oh my God, you just go, oh, okay, 1 out of 3 holes is good. Go in there.
Yeah, that's insane. Now, when you requested, these things are fucking diva. She wants all the holes tested for STDs. Fucking
It was okay. By that
God.
point,
They just roll their eyes.
I sell.
Oh, okay. It's like when you're getting the downloads, you get to demand more STD checks.
Oh, I mean, my first couple of months in the industry, I wouldn't even ask for water. I'd be so thirsty, and I'd be like, I don't want to be. You know, I was a competitive dancer growing up, so I just never complained, and you just do what everyone tells you to do. But after a while, you realize, you know what? I think I'm making you guys just as much money, so I can ask for these things.
Yeah, it's like
when
you're hosting a show in a comedy club, you're the lowest on the food chain. So you're they're here's a free like you said, water, and you're thank you, and then you just drink it in the corner, and then eventually, you start making some money selling tickets, and then you're I'll have the steak, please.
Yeah. Exactly. And people can call you a diva, whatever. And the only person who's going to call you that is someone who's a fucking asshole, or if you're an asshole. But if you're a nice person that shows up, does your job with a smile on your face, and you go, hey, this is my one requirement, that's a very fair thing to ask. Right. And anyone who's reasonable would get that.
What does a Rocco Siffredi have on his rider when he comes into a production? Anything? Is it oh boy, Rocco's coming, we got to have strawberries, we got to have this, that? Does he have a green room set up?
I've never worked with Rocco.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know, but I think the thing with Rocco is how aggressive he gets with the girls.
Of course. I've seen the documentary.
What on his rider is women who will not me when I slapped him in the face. I think that's what's on his rider. But we don't get writers.
A woman who can take a punch. I'm gonna need a woman who's got a strong jaw.
And doesn't have any sense of, has never heard about the Geico lawsuit.
Oh my God, that's so funny. Yeah, I'm sure you've heard tales and things, but that's a funny rider for sure. Oh my God, I'm so jealous that everyone gets to go on the Fully Loaded tour with you, and also jealous of you for getting to go on the Fully Loaded tour. I'm so excited.
Want to come to one of the shows?
I don't remember. Well, we're gonna post up where they are, but I can't off the top of my head.
It's bumfuck cities.
Rochester, New York. I am from very close to there, from Buffalo.
Yeah, come through.
I know Rochester very well. That's
so on a Sunday, it's a perfect time to come.
I guess that's true. I have nothing else going on. You're right. I'm trying to think if I have gigs, but I'm chilling for most of June actually. I'm talking to you like we're off. I'm actually gonna be trying to move, and I got to do this whole thing. So
come.
No, it'd be awesome. It'd be awesome to be a part of the tour, and I'm so excited for everyone who gets to go do it and gets to go watch it. And make sure if you are going, you get there and see Carter's set. And anything else you want to promote before we head out?
I don't think so, really. I mean, I made a remix fucking in January that I've been waiting all year to come out.
Oh, no shit. So, okay. Is it out now?
No, I'm waiting still. It's a label shit.
Oh, I see. Well,
it's crazy when you do this thing the proper way, how long you have to wait.
It is kind of
By the time it comes out, I'm going to want to murder it into the ground. I hate it so much.
You're going to get sick of it?
Oh, I'm already sick of it.
Okay.
It was done in January.
Well, for me, I'm not doing much other than July 16th, I'll be in San Diego at the Mic Drop Comedy Club. August, we've got Philadelphia, we've got Chicago. At Josh_Potter on Instagram is where you can find links to all the shows. Doing a bunch around LA if you live out here, so keep your eyes peeled over there. Otherwise, thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, thanks for leaving all your comments, rate, review, all that horse shit. Pleased to be doing that. And we will see you next time on the Josh Potter Show. Thanks so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.